Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arzeto Wijdan, and today I'm gonna doing a final test of academic speaking. Today I'm gonna doing a theme about traditional learning versus online learning. When discussing online learning and traditional learning, of course, each has advantage and disadvantage, especially that now that we are in the recovery period after the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, we have to go through an adjustment period by holding mixed learning between online learning and traditional learning. So, what are the advantage and disadvantage of online learning and traditional learning? Let's look together at the explanation below. The positive of online learning. The first one is the practical and flexible. The first benefit of online learning is in terms of practicality. With online learning, interaction between teachers and students will be more practical because they don't have to travel to meet. In addition, there are no classroom in the place for formal learning. The teaching and learning process can take place anywhere as long as it is conducive and can help to focus. The second one is fun learning experience. Online learning has real classroom learning items such as teachers with markers and whiteboards, and students with notes and pens. You will get more interesting teaching with various media formats, be it photos, videos, or audios. Everything will give you a more enjoyable learning experience. Third is save time and cost. In conventional 2 hours lessons, for example, it takes at least 3 hours for class to start due to space shifts. In addition, there are additional costs such as procuring books and photocopies of materials and so on. One of the other benefits of online learning is cutting all these expenses so that students and teachers only need to be connected to a screen and an internet connection. Fourth is easy to documentation. With conventional learning methods, students need to take notes to make copies of subject matter for themselves. Another benefit of online learning is using media that allows students to record and store the material provided in digital form. So, it can be easily accessed and studied again at a later date. Now, we will go to the negative or disadvantage from online learning. First one is the limited internet connection. Students who live in urban areas don't seem to have a problem with the internet networks. But what about those who live in rural areas? Stable networks and internet connection are still difficult to obtain in these areas, which can hamper the implementation of online learning. The second is lack of socialization and interaction. Learning online from home automatically does not involve direct interaction with teachers or friends. In addition, students do not learn how to socialize with teachers, friends, and the environment. This indirectly does not support the formation of students' character. The third, difficulty in understanding the material. Not all students are able to follow the subject matter provided by the teacher online. This is also influenced by the type of learning that is owned by the students themselves. Some students may already be able to understand the material given through sound alone, but there are some students who must be given a visual example in order to understand what the teacher is conveying. 4. The lack of supervision in learning. Lack of supervision in conducting online learning makes e-learning users sometimes lose focus. With easy access, some users tend to procrastinate studying. Self-awareness is needed to show that the learning process with online method is directed and achieves goals. And now we will go to the advantage of traditional learning. First one is the monitored students. Even though it is traditional, face-to-face learning or offline learning certainly makes all student activities and their various competencies clearly monitored by the teacher. Teachers will find it easier to monitor student activities, both academically and non-academically, to encourage their development. The two is students are more focused. Apart from being more monitored, this learning also allows students to focus more on learning. Directly, students can study and do assignments without any interference from the internet network or device so that they can study smoothly. In addition, students can also focus more on learning and not be disturbed by distractions that might break the focus of learning. 3 is the clear standardization. Not only learning materials and also the curriculum can be conveyed clearly. The instructors and the material are also clearly certified so that the teachers can convey material with their abilities and knowledge as the capacity of educators. And the material delivered is also in accordance with standards. The last one is the students can pay attention more clearly. Students who do not understand the material can immediately ask questions without having to be limited in space and time. So, this offline learning allows students to more easily understand and accept learning material. And after the positive and advantage of traditional learning, now we go to negative and disadvantage of traditional learning. The first one is distance in learning. Offline learning activities have the disadvantage of requiring a physical classroom, so that students and teachers must meet face to face at the same place and time, and must interact directly. That is, it takes time to travel the distance to gain knowledge, ethics, and psychology. Second one is study time. Apart from distance, the time to gain knowledge offline also requires uniformity. Students must gather in the same place and according to predetermined hours. So high discipline is needed to be present on time. If you relax for too long, of course this will be a problem for student to adjust. The third one is lack of independence. Offline or traditional learning classes are still lacking when compared to online learning. This is because students must be led to learn and sometimes teachers must be forced to focus on learning. Therefore, students lack the awareness to learn and gain knowledge. And the last one is limited knowledge of technology. If implemented continuously, teachers and students feel facilitated by the ease of direct learning so that they cannot or are unable to explore their abilities to use technology and information, such as laptops, PCs, use of applications on the internet, and so on. So, I guess that's it from my speaking final test. If I made any mistake, I'm so sorry. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.